Hey guys, this is Riley over here at Bish's RV. I'm in front of the 2022 Dynamax Isata3 series. This is the 24FW. Let's check this thing out. So a couple that had traded this in took really good care of it. It was stored inside. As you'll see as we go through this, there's not really any sort of damage that's noteworthy. She does need a bath just because it did rain recently, so we'll have to get it all cleaned up. But it is super well taken care of, well maintained for sure, and it has a lot of really nice options on it. It's got the slide topper, of course, you can see from here. Also does have an inverter solar on board, plus a 3200 watt Onan generator that's on it. Of course, going to something on the Sprinter chassis, I love that because you get the side view cameras, which we can see here, backup camera, and then you've also got that Blue Tech engine, which is just phenomenal. We've got a really good setup for our awning here. Love that you don't have the arms that come down the side, so it just looks really nice and sharp. And there's actually quite a bit of storage in this too. So our storage compartments are all prepped for wet storage, got low point drains in them. Of course, we do have the Truma tankless water heater too. As I mentioned, everything on this looks so good. Just finished winterizing it today, so there's a little bit of liquid underneath it. There's our little backup camera setup. You can see the two spots there. It does have a rear hitch on it, which if you look right here on the side, don't take my word for it, this does have a 5,000 pound hitch as opposed to a 3,000 that you get in most Class C categories. When you're on like a Ford chassis, it's just not going to handle the same as this. So I love that it's got that better towing capacity on this guy. You also have a lot of conveniences. You got your black tank flush, and then in here we actually have our outside shower, and then that Onan generator I was talking about is right here underneath. Just a really nice setup on these guys. Like I said, we did just winterize it, so we got a little bit of liquid just sitting in here that needs to be dried up. Just barely got it back from service. There's a little bit of scuffing just right here from whatever they had stored in here. I think you can actually, from the looks of it, you can get that off that wallpaper, but no damage of any kind. Seals off really well. All the seals are really solid. Crawl underneath this guy so you can see this. Of course, they do have their Dynaride suspension that they have completely unique to these guys. Really sweet setup underneath here. It does have auto level too, which there's a couple different ways to access that. And here's our little propane hookups. While I'm under here, I'm actually going to turn around so you can see the underside of this slide. Once again, talking about how well this thing's been maintained and lightly used. There's not any major damages underneath this slide out. You can see those heavy duty brackets that hold it in place. And of course the slim rack right above us. I love this slim rack system. It saves you weight, but it's a lot more reliable than a Schwintek. So pretty nice there. And then it was on our mileage on here, it was 19,686 if I remember correctly. So we're gonna come into the cockpit. I did move one of them to the other facing directions. You can see these do have a swivel plus the cushion, so when it's facing the other way, it's not going to be like you're sitting super low. And then yeah, 19,686 for our miles on here. Really nice setup in this guy. One thing that's cool on the Dynamax and anything in these Sprinter chassis is that you do have your seat adjustment, which you can see the controls right there. It's not on the side of the seat. I know some people get confused on that, but of course not a big deal to work it. I actually like it a lot on this side panel. Just really simple. Once again, just trying to show that the overall maintenance on this thing looks really good. We do have, I think that's just on the clear. Yeah, that's on the bra for that. If I see anything that's less than perfect, I'll try to point it out, just because I don't like surprises personally and don't like my customers to have surprises. This does have a fiberglass roof too, which is really cool with the Dynamax. You don't have like a little TPO membrane or anything like that. It's going to be a lot more reliable long term. When we come in on this left hand side, as I mentioned out there, we do have our auto level, inverter, solar, all just right here, access to all the controls. And then we have our physical buttons on this side, and then on the side next to it, we have our touch screen. Close this door real quick. Shows you can also access tank heaters, inverter. Let me back that up. Sorry, I'm a little close. This also has AGS, which is really convenient. I love the AGS on this guy. While we're in this position, just want to point out on the cockpit, once again, we do have some pretty good height thanks to this additional cushion. It's just removable, but when you have it flipped around, it makes it a lot better. It's similar height to our theater seats here. And then this is obviously movable. We can flip this, have even more headspace over the cockpit. If not, it makes a great bunk. A lot of space. Our TV, which needs to be wiped off. It's got fingerprints on it. But one thing I do want to point out, well maintained. We don't have any water damage in these corners. There's no discoloration, not misshapen in any way, and soft touch on the ceiling here. So the reason they do that is, one, for insulation purposes, and two, also reduces road noise. This guy also has the Winegard Gateway booster and our Max Air fan. So the Max Air fan I like a lot more than the Fantastic fan. You get an additional speed and you can run that fan without it being opened. And then these guys actually have a cool little cover for it as well. Now looking back this way, we do have our theater seats. These are Thomas Paine recliners. They also have heat, massage, and LED lights, plus these nice little cup holder extensions. These are removable if you don't want to have them, and you just have the cup holder. In fact, I'm going to do something where we're inside. I want to get a better view of this whole thing, so I'm actually going to bring that back so it's a little easier to see this floor plan. Really good size slide out in this thing. There's a ton of space when the slide is out. Even when it's in, you have really good travel space where you can get to the bathroom, you can get to the fridge, all that while in transit. You don't have to have the slide out every time. You will need it for that bed though. The bed you have to have out in order to put it into the sleeping position, but it does give you a full queen, so that's pretty nice. Now as we pass the theater seats, we do have this nice little pantry with the pull-out drawers. Love the storage inside these things. And then these folks just have this little shelf in the back here. When you look from the side, there's this little door. So you have this guy right here, which is kind of cool. You need some additional storage next to the bed. And you do just have full extension drawers on everything. Once again, just love the finish on this. Dynamax is a very, very good coach, and they're very popular for a reason. Do have our plugins on the side here. Got our carbon monoxide detector on the very bottom. It is still a walk around queen too, so you can get around the side here pretty easily. Easy access. Once again, TV across from the bed too, and our slide out control right here. Gonna jump around, hopefully that is all right, but we'll go back over here to the kitchen where you can see when I was pointing out the other stuff, there's this extendable countertop piece. This is all a solid surface countertop too. One thing I like about this type of countertop is they do embed that LED strip, so it just gives it a nice little, I don't know, like an upgraded sort of feel. Makes it feel really nice, cozy, fancy even, and a really good size sink. When you're in a 24-foot motorhome, a lot of people don't give you a good size sink. The Dynamax has a really good undermount sink on this guy. Plus the sprayer faucet, just once again gives it a nice little residential touch. Do have a 3-burner cooktop on here as well with a convection microwave. Going to be pretty standard in something like this. Plus once again, just additional storage. These guys left us the goodie bag too, which I love that they did that. Not a lot of people do that. Love that you have all of that if you need to look back at something. Instead of being like most used coaches, it's going to be easy to figure out what you need to do with certain things. You have your TST right there for your TPMS system. Once again, just full extension. And of course, this is lightly used. You'll see a little bit of scuff in here and there on the inside of the cabinets, but the outside, once again, the folks that had this before took really good care of it. This does have the Dometic gas and electric 6 cubic foot refrigerator and freezer combo here. Super tried and true system. The Dynamax's been around for a very long time. And then a little spot up here. Now last but not least, we'll come into the bathroom. The way this bathroom setup is, we do have a little bit right here in these corners, you can see. Once again, just from light use. Nothing major. When the door's closed, I actually didn't even notice it, but just being rubbed on the sides. Anyway, coming to the inside, you have this nice little spot for towel storage. Seamless countertops here. This is going to be the thermoform, but going to be more than enough for a bathroom. Really good size sink here, and then we've got our mirrored medicine cabinet as well. Let's have a travel lock up on the top there. And we've got some additional storage if you want for robes or more towels or anything like that. They have them throughout the coach. Once again, we have another one of those awesome Max Air fans. Now I'm going to flip this camera around again real quick. So we can look at the space for the toilet and the shower. So before I flip that, just wanted to point out here, we do have a radial edge to this shower, so it doesn't feel as claustrophobic. But let me flip this guy around for you. So walking through the bathroom, we've got some pretty good space on here. Even when I'm sitting down, I don't feel super claustrophobic. I don't have a wall right up against me on either side. So I have quite a bit of room. Even leg space wise, I have some space in front of me. It's not gonna be massive. We're in a B+. It's gonna be a tighter one as opposed to like a big travel trailer at the rear bathroom. But for the space, they do a really good job making sure that you have plenty of room to get washed in. So because of this radial side on here, it's not gonna feel super cramped. I've actually got quite a bit of room. Might not look at quite as much in this camera, but there's actually a lot of space to get washed, plus having this headspace thanks to the skylight here. It's gonna be a really good setup. Hopefully this video helps. If there's anything I missed or anything else you want me to do, more than happy to come back out here, get some additional footage of this coach. I absolutely love these. This is probably, in my opinion, the best way to go camping. Easy to get in and out of anywhere, and they're fun to drive. I love these. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let us know. We're happy to help. Hope you have a great rest of your day.